All right, hello everyone. This is MathSifu again. So today we are ready to do and continue on our end of year sprint. So today we'll be doing Sec 3 E-Maths. Okay, Sec 3 E-Maths. Okay, for today's video, what you will see is that I'll only go through paper one. And then subsequently I'll release another video on paper two because all these things the amount of content to be covered in this from here onwards will be a much more deeper in depth as well. Okay, so I will want to spend a bit more time to explain and to revise on the concepts. Okay, can. So at the same time, also I'll do a quick review about what are the topics that is to be covered and to be mastered at this level. Okay, FYI, we are doing an E-Maths paper. Okay, it's an E-Maths paper. So it's Sec 3 E-Maths paper 1. Okay. So subsequently, I'll be releasing like the A-Maths paper as well. So stay tuned to my upcoming videos. Okay. So today we are doing a Fajar Secondary School 2021 end of year. Okay, even though it's about 3 years back, the syllabus is more or less still the same. Okay, anything that's beyond 2020, that's 4 years ago, okay, then maybe a bit outdated lah. But 2021, we are good to go. Okay, so same thing. You guys can head over to my Google Drive to find the full paper, or you guys need help in looking for the paper, you guys can look for me as well. Okay, for along the way, if you guys got any questions or any thing that you're not sure about or what I'm explaining, okay, go ahead and leave a comment down below and then I'll be able to reach out to y'all. Okay. If otherwise y'all can just follow through the questions while I'm doing them over here so that you guys can know what's going on. Take out a piece of paper and your own writing materials and you can follow along and do the questions. Okay. So 1.5 hours paper you are looking at today. Of course, I always mention that if you are spending 1.5 hours for 1.5 hours paper, you are too slow. Okay, so technically, if for 1.5 hours paper, you should be looking at about 45 minutes to an hour to complete it. So this should be a rather short paper. Anything more than that, maybe 1 hour 15 minutes is the maximum time that you should be giving yourself to this. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, for the topics wise, okay, a few things to cover. Okay, topics. Number one, indices. Okay, mainly and also mensuration. That means your volume of spheres, like your volume, surface area, all these things. Yes, we briefly covered in secondary 2, but this one will be a bit more. Will be more. This one more in depth, more in depth. Okay. So along the way, we will have a exploration of these topics. Okay. At this point on time, I also like to mention that it is a bit no point to spot topics. Like, oh, what will happen in paper one, then it will not come out in paper two, or what come out in paper two will not come out in paper one. There's no point spotting topics. You're supposed to go and learn and master everything. Even though it's started in paper one, it also will appear in paper two. So don't bet your chances on spotting questions. Okay, even if you spot the questions, so what? It doesn't really matter because the amount of difficulty is still going to be the same. Okay, at the same time, you do not have the time to go and like spot question and then study questions, study the specific topic that you are spotting on. Okay, no point, no use, and not necessary lah. It's a waste of time. So learn everything along the way and make sure you can cover everything. Okay, let's get started. Okay, formula sheet wise, I'll still leave it here. Some of the things that is here, technically you do not need to refer to them anymore, but good to know that these formulas are there. So make sure you are familiarized with these formulas. Okay, let's start. Write 1 to over 49 as a power of 7. Once again, remember your squares and cubes, so you can see that 1 over 49 is equals to 1 over 7 square, and is equals to 7 to the power of -2. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, next. Given that a times a to the power of 4 over square root a equals to a to the power of y, find the value of y. Okay, so quite straightforward lah. Okay, so when it comes to indices, if the terms multiply, the powers will add up. So it will get a over 5 over square root of a. So take note that square root of a is a to the power of half. So technically this is a to the power of 5 minus half. So it's a to the power of 9/2. Okay, you want to write 4.5 also can. You want to write improper also can. This one I really don't want to nag about it, but I'll just write it as improper fractions. Normally at this point, the general rule of thumb is to write it improper. But if you really want to write 4.5, I won't stop you. Okay? So that is for indices. Okay, question 2. Okay, once again, of course, I'd like to remind if you guys need any help or struggling or you need more time to process on a specific question, you can either pause the video, you can slow down the playback. I won't really slow down like just to explain certain things. Okay? Okay, next. Solve the inequality 2x minus 1 is less than or equal to 11 and 11 is less than 3x plus 5. So basically what we are doing here is two sets of inequalities. We solve them individually. Okay, so 2x minus 1 is less than 11. So 2x is 11 plus 1. So it's 12. 2x is less than or equal to 12. So x is less than or equal to 6. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier on and like in previous videos as well, okay, you only change sign when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Other than that, everything else stays exactly the same. Okay, so then we do the other one. 11. Again, this is less than, strictly less than 3x plus 5. Once again, we do 11 minus 5 to 3x. 6 is less than 3x, so x is less than 2. Okay, x is less than 2. So from here, if you the thing is that we also need to combine these two inequalities together. So if I were to string them together, how will it look like? Okay, so x will be in the middle. So x 6. No, what am I doing? 2. We need to string it together because both of them are actually under because they are referring to the same quantity of x. Same quantity. So we need to go and link them together. Okay, unless they are at two different ends of spectrum. So if we combine together, we get 2 less than x. X is less than or equals to -6. 2 is less than or equals to 6, which is 2 less than x less than or equals to 6. So how do you represent this on a number line? Remember, if it's just strictly less than is a circle. If it's less than or equal to is a dot. So this is your number line. Okay, this one shouldn't be an issue. So once again, if you need to recap on a bit of inequalities and the number lines and all that stuff, I believe at this point, it should be once we mention about it, then when we do it on the spot on the go, you will be able to recap and recall already. If you need time to think, why dot, why circle, please go back and recover on basics. Or you can leave a comment down at the video below, at the section below, and then you can reach out to me. Okay? Okay, let's continue. Okay, indices also cover standard form. Standard form is also one of the quite important topics. It may get a bit confusing if you are not sensitive to like powers and the indices and the numbers and all. Okay, so very important. Okay, continue. Brazil produced 42 million bags of coffee. Okay, so how do you write 42 million? We know that 42 million is 10 to the power of 6. This one is a must know. It is a must know. Okay, so but the thing is that we cannot leave it like that. We must have this number to be between 1 to 9.999, which is 1 to 10. Okay, so it's 4.2, and as a result, it's 4.2 to the power of 7. Okay, if we have a general sensing of numbers, it kind of makes sense because Brazil has a larger landmass. It has a lot more fields. So technically, the amount of produce for coffee should technically be a bit higher than the rest of the 3 countries. Okay, so this have some common sense while we are doing these kind of questions. Okay, how many more bags were produced in Vietnam than in India? So we are doing some sort of a basic 4 operations of the standard form. So we are taking 5.8 times 10 to the power of 6 minus 2.75 times 10 to the power of 6. Okay, in order to do addition and subtraction, we must ensure that they have the same power first. If they don't have the same power for 10, for the base 10, we must make them to be the same power. In this case, they are both the same. So we can just take our calculator and type in 5.8 minus 2.75, you'll get this. So technically, this one will be 3.05. So it's 3.05 times 10 to the power of 6. 3.05 times 10 to the power of 6. Yeah, just like that. Okay, next. The mass of a bag of coffee is 60. Find the number of kilograms of coffee produced by all 4 countries. Written as K billion. Okay, K billion. Billion is how many? This one we must know. Okay, million is 6 zeros. Okay, we are ISI. Million is 6 zeros. Billion leh? Billion is 8 zeros. Okay, this one quite important. Billion is 8 zeros. Sorry, my bad. 9 zeros. Okay. I was like thinking, how come a bit weird? Trillion is 12 zeros. So million, billion, then trillion. Okay. So K billion. So 9 zeros. So at the end of the day, you must understand that you got 9 zeros. But that means it has to be a number times 10 to the power of 9. But later, then we go and see what's going on. Okay. Produced by 4 countries. A few things we can do. Number one, we need to go and add up all the number of bags first. Okay. Number of bags first. So you can see you got 10 to the power of 7, 10 to the power of 6, 10 to the power of 5. So change everything to 10 to the power of 5 lah. Easier for you. Okay. So 4.2 times 10 to the power of 7, it will be 42, 420. 420 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay. And then we do 58 times 10 to the power of 5. Then we do 27.5 times 10 to the power of 5. Followed by 4.9 times 10 to the power of 5. I don't know why they give so little space. But too bad. Yeah, okay. So you will to add this up together. I got 420 plus 58 plus 27.5 plus 4.9. You'll get 510.4 times 10 to the power of 5. Okay. But for this number, what we need to do is we need to actually multiply by 60 because we need to go and find the amount of kilograms, okay? Amount of kilograms. So at this point of time, I want to do 510.4 times 10 to the power of 5 times 60. You get a pretty big number, but not to worry because we will be converting this to billions later. Okay, so now it's 30,624 times 10 to the power of 5. So you see, remember just now we said at the back, we are looking in terms of billion. Billion means 9 zeros. Okay, it means I need to have a number that is times 10 to the power of 9. Okay, so what we need to do from here, we need to move the decimal places. So from 5, right? 5, we need to move 4 places. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So the answer will be 3.624. That's my answer. Okay, because this one is equals to 3.0624 times 10 to the power of 9 kg. Okay, I don't know why they put so little space lah, but oh wells. Okay, so this is how we do it systematically. Okay, don't need to be so worried. Oh, 60 is 6 times 10 to the power of 10, 6 times 10 to the power of 1. Then you need to do all these things. Don't need. Go and do properly first. If you want to take 60 as 60 on its own to multiply to the whole number 510.4, it's possible. Then do all the conversions later on. Otherwise, you get very confused. You need to convert here, need to convert there, need to tweak here, need to turn there. Don't need. Do one shot. Nice. Okay, that's the idea. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, factorize 2x squared plus 3x minus 20. Okay, first of all, at this point when you are in sec 3 already, the first thing you need to do is to go and press calculator. Okay, 2 3, -20. Then you get this, a very nice number over there. Okay? So I got x plus 4 and then 2x minus 5. That is my answer. Okay, at this point of time, you must be able to know how to write your factorized form given your solutions. Okay, this one first exposed in Sec 2, but at this point of time, you must master now already. Let's say you don't know how, let me know. Okay, so x plus 4, 2x minus 5. I also mentioned that since you already have a whole number as a solution, you can always use that factor to go and deduce the other one. Okay, hence solve. That means x plus 5 equals to 0 or 2x minus 5 equal to 0. So x equals to -4 or x equals to 5/2. So this -4 and 5/2 is what you get in your calculator. Okay, so make sure, but you must show the working lah. Basically, you must show the working. So it's -4 or 5/2. Very straightforward. 1 mark each. 1 mark each means instantly you must know already. If you need to spend 2 minutes thinking about 1 mark question, means you are too slow. So you need to go back and revise. Huh? Okay, next. Okay, this one, applications bearing. Okay, applications of trigonometry. Okay, that one, applications of trigonometry, we are talking about things like bearing, we are talking about angles of elevation and depression. So these two is things that you must know. Okay, so the position of two tiles A and B, the bearing is 25. Why is he wrong? Bearing of B from A is 25. Obviously, it's wrong. Why? Because bearings are measured in a clockwise direction. So what happens over here is that because it says from A, from A means you start from here. So technically, in order to measure the bearing, we need to take from here and turn one big round. This is the correct bearing. You cannot just take 25. Because 25 here, right, is being measured in the anti-clockwise motion, which is not correct. All bearings are supposed to be measured in clockwise direction. Okay? Calculate the correct bearing. So in this case, this 25 will also help us because the bearing is actually 360 minus 025. So technically for bearing, also need to take note. For bearing, you always need to write it in 3 digits. 3 digits, okay? So if the bearing is 2 digits, you must write a 0 in front. Okay, this one must take note. Okay, so 3, 3, 5. So that's my bearing for B from A. Okay? Now, calculate the bearing of A from B. Now we need to go and investigate which angle are they referring to, which is here. Because it's of A from B. From B, you look at B. Okay, important. Okay, so you look at this angle, which is pretty straightforward. Why? Because this is where your O angle stuff that you learn in primary school and your lower sec will come in here. Because this is angles of the same segment. That means these two angles, this angle to be found, and 25 are supplementary. Supplementary means they add up to be 180. So very straightforward. I just need to take 180 minus 025. I'll get 155. That's my bearing already. Okay. I try my best to write my better handwriting lah. Okay, but this pen a bit slippery. Okay, so that means what does it mean? 155 is where? 155 is here. 155 degrees. Okay, if you want to top up for the 25, I think you should top up a bit. You can say 25. Okay. This measure of 25 is measured in from anti-clockwise direction. Okay, that's the idea. Okay. Quite straightforward, this one. 1, 2, 3, 3 marks. Okay, next. Factorize completely. xy plus 2ay minus 3ax minus 6a squared. This one obviously group grouping. Okay, by now you should know what grouping is. Grouping is being introduced back in Sec 2. So go back and recover and revise if you need to. So basically, look at the first two terms. I can take out my y. So I got x plus 2a remaining. At the same time, for the next two terms, I can take out 3a, leaving me with x plus 2a as well. Okay, so this one quite straightforward. These two come here, these two come here. This is what we call grouping. Grouping, how do you identify them? Same thing. When you see four terms, link to grouping straight away. Very straightforward. Okay, so it's the same thing. So y minus 3a, x plus 2a. Done. 2 marks. Okay, next. Okay, also in terms of mensuration, we are talking about radian and degree measure. How do we understand using radians as part of measuring angles? This one important. Okay, and also with that, it links over to two new formulas of finding our area and perimeter if we need to. Okay, so find the perimeter of the shaded region. Let's go and when you say perimeter, okay, we are referring to the outline here. We got this one, we got this whole arc, and then we got this line here. Okay, so let's go and break it down. What's going on? So we have radii 20 and 45 respectively for A, B, and DC. A, B. Okay, so basically this is 20. Okay, and DC whole thing is 45. That means the whole thing here is 45. Very important. Must take note. Angle AOB is 130. So you write it inside first. Okay, find the perimeter of shaded region. Quite straightforward actually. Okay, so number one, we can find AD and BC. AD equals to BC equals to 45 minus 20 equals to 25. This one quite straightforward because that means this is 25 and then this is 25. Okay, at the same time, we can already also find the two fan-shaped arcs, okay, which is at the angle of 130 degrees. So in order to find the perimeter, it's actually very, very straightforward. Okay, so we want to find the big one. So I write down big arc equals to 130 over 360. Okay, just remember the angle that is given is just a proportion of 360. Just take it as a proportion. No need to be too scared by the numbers and all. It doesn't matter. Just take it as it is. Then you want to find perimeter, right? Find perimeter is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r. What's my r? My r is 45. Just like that. Okay, let me go and simplify this one. This 2 gives me 90. And then I cancel this one, it gives me 4. So this one is 90, ma. So I cancel already. So what I have here is 130 divided by 4 pi. Okay, so this one should be 32.5 pi. Okay. Not sure can press calculator, but now should be able to mental already. Huh? Okay, so this is the big arc. Okay, then we find the small arc as well. Same thing with the same angle and the same formula times pi, but this time round the radius is 20. Okay, so once again, this 2 is 40. 40 is 40, ma. 40 I cancel here. I get 1, I get 9. So this is 130 divided by 9. Okay, this one should be 117, should be 126, should be 130 divided by 9. I'll get 4, yes, 14 and 4 out of 9 pi. Okay, so now we can find everything together. So the whole perimeter of shaded equals to 32.5 pi plus 14 and 4 out of 9 pi plus the 2 sets of 25. So the 2 sets of 25 here gives me 50. Like that. Okay. So normally I leave the calculations of pi, general rule of thumb, leave the pi calculation to the very end. Otherwise, you'll be writing a whole lot of decimals and your answers may not be even accurate at the end of the day. Because you need to round to 365 ma. Okay. Some people also, there's no fixed standard and the teachers won't necessarily say, if you were to do your working in pi, how many sig figs should you need to write in working? Teachers don't define that actually. They don't need to define that because it's not needed. So some schools will actually feed you and say, okay, your working value must put in 5 sig fig. then your answer must round off to 368. Why need to remember all that shit? Don't need. Don't need. Just leave everything in terms of pi. Then at the very end, then you go and convert. Go and get the full value and then convert to 368 once and for all. Okay, everything, the working is so much cleaner. Otherwise, you could write a lot of decimals for what? Not worth it. Okay, not worth it. Then you write number, write wrong, also sian. Okay, you write sin also, then you see so many numbers, you also feel emotionally sian. So why do that? Don't need. Okay, so leave everything to the end. So I'm going to key in the calculator what to get. So 32.5 pi multiply, plus 14 and 4 over 9 times pi plus 50. Just like that. Okay, the answer here, why is my previous answer of 14 and 4 over 9. Just like that lah. Then press calculator, then you get this. 197.48. Okay, this answer confirm correct and confirm accurate one. Okay, 4803. Then you do the rounding off one time. Just one time. Okay, so it will be 197 cm to 36 feet. 197. See, confirm nice. You see, everything the working clean and simple. No need to go and write all the decimals. Okay, I say so many times for this one already. Okay? Okay, next. Quadrilateral PQRS PQ7 QS9. PQ equals to QRS is 90. Okay, QSR 35. Find QR. Find QR. What I see is a similar triangle, but I don't want to assume that is the only thing. Is there something else I can do? I want to find QR over here. Okay, QR over here. What can we do? Basic trigo, right? Because there's a 35 degrees, it's a right angle triangle. We can link about basic trigo. So QR over here, what we can do, because I want to use this 35. So the 30 with respect to the 35, QR is my opposite, and then hypotenuse. That means what we are looking at? We are looking at sine. So let's write down the format first. Sine 35 equals to QR over 9. Don't rush to go and calculate shit, okay? Relax. Write down the things first. Write down properly, then you can see better. So QR equals to 9 times sine 35. Just do it like a normal algebra stuff, okay? Then you press 9 sine 35, you'll get this. 5.16218, okay? So 5.16218, then you go and round off to a 368. 5.16 cm, 368. Okay, just keep your working simple, keep the understanding simple. No need to memorize all sorts of different formula or inverse formula, basic trigo formula. Don't need. Write down the things first as one basic format. Arrange and align from there. Okay, that is normally how I teach lah. Okay, I don't know how other school teach. I need to memorize formula here and there. Waste of time. Okay, fine. RSP is this angle here. Okay, of course it includes the 35 as well, includes 35, but that means we need to go and find PSQ. How to find PSQ? Let's follow a short plan first, okay? First, you need to find PSQ. Then using these two, I can add in with find RSP. That's my basic plan. Okay, so in order to find PSQ, as you can see, is this angle here. This angle quite straightforward. It's also another right angle triangle. I got 7, I got 9. So that means I can say that the angle of which is tangent of PSQ equals to 7 over 9. You see, do I need to use inverse formula? Don't need. Write it like that in the basic format first. Then I understand that, okay, PSQ, in order to find the angle, then we use inverse. Okay, so inverse tangent 7 over 9. You get this, okay? So you see, I don't need to, and the thing is that, do I need to write tangent -1? That one, don't need. I say again, don't need. It's not required. Okay, so 37.9 to 1 dp. Okay, but the thing is that at this point of time, this is not the final answer. So technically, I don't want to write it out to 1 dp first. I leave it like that as such. In fact, for further calculations, I also teach my students to go and store this value in case you need to fetch it sometime down the road. So store this value to preserve the highest level of accuracy. I'll be stressing a lot of these. I'll be stressing a lot of these things, concepts along the way. We need to preserve the highest level of accuracy so that the final answer will definitely be the most accurate possible. Okay, this is what I also focus on. Okay, so PSQ, you write 37.874 here is just for writing, 写爽而已, for fun only, just to show that you are calculating something. Okay, so find RSP will be this angle plus 35. You see, when I write the working here, my calculator is still on this exact value. On this exact value. So I just press plus 35. Okay, so you don't need to spend the whole time keying in the calculators all over again. I know that some of you guys have the habit of like canceling your, like making it to zero or cancel it to zero every time you finish calculating something. I hope that you can kick this habit. Just don't. Because there'll be values over here that you'll be needing for future stuff. So you either can store them away or you can immediately use it to find the next step. Okay, so from here, I'll get this. This is the most highest accurate value. So 72.874. Then from here, I will go and do my rounding off 72.9 degrees to 1 dp. I know for this question, what I'm doing here is a bit exaggerated, but when it comes to bigger calculations, as you go to Sec 4, as you do calculus, as you do more differentiation, integration, more trigonometry stuff, okay, all these little habits will kick in. So I want to make sure you guys are very standardized with what your habits are right now. So when you go to Sec 4, you won't suffer. Okay, the reason why most people suffer in Sec 4 because all these habits are not being reinforced. Then they have to force themselves to adjust. So this is what I want to prevent from the very beginning. These little details is super, super important. Okay, so let me go on. Okay, next. Okay, also we talk about geometry, coordinate geometry. A is the point -3, 2, B is the point 12, -8. Find the equation of a line. Super easy. Number 1, find gradient. Number 2, then find the equation of the line. Various ways you can do it. Okay, I'll do it the most fastest and most efficient way. So first of all, I want to find a gradient. So in order to find the gradient, it's quite straightforward. It's 2, -8. 2, the difference between 2 and -8, which is 10. Then -3 and 12, 15. So therefore, my gradient is 2/3. No need to do all that formula stuff. If you want to do, can lah, but not needed lor. -3 -12 like that. Do I need to go there? Actually, no need. Really, no need. 2 to -8. 2 to -8 is going down by 10 steps. And then it's negative. So negative. Like that. Okay. -3 -12 lah. -3 to 12. 2 to -8. Yeah, correct. So it's -2/3. Okay. 2 to -8 is go down by 10 steps. Go down by 10 steps. So it's technically -10. Then -10 over 15. That's the idea. Okay. So gradient is 2/3. So in order to find the equation, I'll use the other formula. Normally, I know you guys talk about subbing points, but I prefer the other formula, which is using a known point. So I will use this as a known point. So y minus 2 equals to -2/3 x plus 3. Okay, if you guys are familiar with this method, good for you. For me, I'll use this method all the way throughout. Okay, so it's y equals to y. So normally what I'll do here is I will write down y straightforward, and then I bring the -2 over. At the same time, I expand the bracket. So it's like that. So this one will be -2, then +2. This +2 comes from here. That means I bring over. Then this -2 comes from the expanding of -2/3 times 3. Okay, hear that again. If you need to slow down the playback or pause the video. Okay. So here, if I were to, you see these two take out already, what I'll get is y equals to -2/3 x. That's it. Okay. So this kind of a working, right, is actually very, very straightforward. If I were to write the whole thing again, how will it look like in one shot lah? It's supposed to produce this in one shot already. So y minus 2. Okay, y minus 2 equals to -2/3 x plus 3. So y equals to minus 2 third x minus 2 plus 2. So y equals to negative 2 third x. So this is how we solve for equations. Solve for the line of equation, the equation of the line. Okay. So the equation of a line P is 3y plus 2x equals to 1. Explain why the line P does not intersect with the line AB. When they say does not intersect, means they are running along the same direction. And when they say running along the same direction, it means they have the same gradient. This one is a must know. So when you see certain keywords, you must link to various concepts already. So does not intersect means same gradient. Maybe if they intersect at one point, means there are two straight lines. Okay, something like that. So you must be able to link from the concept and keywords to what does it infer. This one very, very important for upper sec onwards. What does certain keywords infer? So when they say does not intersect, means it must have the same gradient. So what we need to do is that we need to go and do some working on my 3y plus 2x. No. 3y plus 2x equals to 1. I need to make this in terms of the y equal to ms plus c format to explicitly show that the gradient is the same as the line before, which is negative 2/3. Okay. So from here, let's go and do some manipulation involved. Okay. So y equals to minus 2x plus 1. Okay, that's 3y. Then at the same time, I write it here. So technically, they didn't give us much space to do the manipulation. So I can just do it along the line. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. So we need to show that, okay, so 3y equals to minus 2x plus 1. At the same time, y equals to minus 2/3 x plus 1/3. So since line P has the same gradient, you want to be very clear of negative 2/3 compared to line AB. The two lines does not intersect. Okay, so of course, technically, if you are very strong enough, you are able to see directly from the equation over there, 3y plus 2x equals to 1. You can immediately see that if the gradient is negative 2/3. By all means, you don't need to show the working. What I'm doing here is that for the more average students to be exceptionally, explicitly, 100% crystal clear that yes, the gradient is the same, which is negative 2/3. Then you must say that since line P has the same gradient of negative 2/3 compared to line AB, the two lines does not intersect. 100% correct. 100%. Okay? Okay, next. Solve this whole equation. Give your answers correct to 2dp. So normally when they say give in 2dp, that means what we must induce is that the final answer will be very ugly, but they want that ugly answer. What does that mean? That means you must use the quadratic formula to show that you are able to solve for this equation and to get the two ugly values. Okay, you cannot just shift the stuff, then press calculator and then show the answer. Cannot. You must show that you are using the quadratic formula. So along in your working, you must show that you are solving the minus b plus minus square root minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a, that whole entire crap. You must show it in the working. Otherwise, marks will be deducted. Very important. Okay. So first of all, let's go and do the manipulation first. This question should be 4 marks. Wow, 5 marks. This is a very easy giveaway. Okay, so let's do it one by one. First of all, let's do the manipulation. So you got 1 minus 3x squared equals to 9 minus 4x. Go and expand this one up first. Okay, so 1 minus 6x plus 9x squared equals to 9 minus 4x. Then we want to shift everything to the left side because I want my 9x squared to be positive. Easier to see also. So 9x squared minus 6x plus 4x plus 1 minus 9 equals 0. Don't rush to go and solve and group like terms. Shift everything over first, write nicely first, then you go and solve. Like that, you can guarantee that your answer will definitely be correct. Okay, so 9x squared minus 2x minus 8 equal to 0. Okay, So from here, no choice. You cannot just key in calculator and get the answer. Okay, I know you can ability-wise, but you must show the quadratic formula. Otherwise, 5 marks won't be so easy one. Okay, so you must use the quadratic formula, apply it in. Okay, so A is my 9, B is my -2, C is my -8. So just need to take note what's going on here. So 9, -2, -8. So sub into the quadratic formula. So x equals to 2 plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Just like that. Okay. Then at this point of time, right? Yes, I know most of you guys will be punching in your calculators already. Can calculate, can. But what is it that you must write in this working? You must show. Okay, this one must important. You must show that this one evaluates to be a positive number. In this case, your positive discriminant. You must show that these things in the square root, b squared minus 4ac, must be a positive number before you can press calculator and solve. This one must write. Otherwise, marks will be deducted. Okay? What I'm sharing here is 100% from MOE. 100% proven already. Okay? So just follow. So 2 plus minus. So you go and evaluate what is going on inside here. Okay, so in this case will be 9 times 8, 72. 72 times 4 is 288. 288 plus 4, 292 over 18. So this is what you can press in the calculator to get the various values. Okay, so let me just press from here. 2 plus square root of 292 bracket, then divide by 18. You will be pressing it like that. Okay, just like that. Okay, then you get the answer. You get 1.06044. So you must write down first. 1.06044. Okay, that is the first value. Okay, but you must know that there are two values because the other one is where the sign it becomes a minus. Okay, so we take it out and change it. Then you press again. You get this ugly looking negative 0.8382. Okay, then we round these two values off to 36 feet to be solved to be given in the answer line. So it's 1.06 to 36. Okay, 1.06 or negative 838 to 36 feet. Okay, but one final step before we write these two answers inside the answer line is where you can do a final check. You must do a final check. This one is a good practice. So we can go straight to a calculator and press in your coefficients. Press in your coefficients. Okay, just a quick 5-second check using the calculator and ensure that you can get the same value. Then you check from here. Yes, you get 1.06444 and negative 0.8382. This shows that your entire process of pressing the quadratic equation into the calculator is correct. So here you visibly see that the answers are the same, means all is good to go. Then we are ready to write in the answer, 1.06 negative 0.838. This will 100% guarantee you full marks for this question. Okay, as long as you follow my steps and the little details about what to do and what to write. Okay, it's not about the answers. Really, I've been mentioning this to my other levels as well. It's not about the eventual answer. It's about the thinking process. You must show clarity in your thinking, and your presentation is how you show the examiner that, hey, this is exactly you know what you need to do. Then in order to get the correct answer, this is how they will award you with the full marks because it shows that you are very, very clear what exactly you are doing. I'm very, very strict on this. Okay, so this is the make sure you can really copy exactly how I'm writing it because this is I've been doing this for the past 15 years. It has never failed me. Never ever failed me. Okay, so this is the way to go. Okay, so make sure that you understand not just the solution, but the presentation and the thought process. Very, very important. I've been yapping on this for like, don't know, past 10 minutes already. Okay, So, okay, let me just continue on this paper. Okay, if you need to, go and pause this video and look through this part again. Super important. Okay. Okay, next. Question 11. Okay, another question on coordinate geometry. A is -1, 6. B is 2, -2. C is 5, -2. Shown there. If AB is square root P, find P. Find P. Okay. First time I'm seeing this, not wrong, but technically AB is square root P. I believe they are looking, and based on this, they are looking for the distance of square root, the distance between A and B. So let's go ahead and find it out because this is a square root. Okay. So AB quite easy because it's the distance formula. Okay, so just apply the distance formula. So AB equals to, okay, so we look at 6 and -2. The straightforward way is to find the distance between 6 and -2 is 8. 8 squared, 64. At this point of time, I say again, like what I mentioned earlier on, make sure you memorize the squares and cubes. It's very important and very useful here. So the distance is 6 and -2. The distance is 8. So 8 squared is 64. Very straightforward. Okay. Plus, the distance between -1 and 2 is 3 spaces apart. 3 spaces apart means it's 9. So it's square root 73. So straightforward 73. In fact, that's it. That's it. You do not need to write the full working. If you are still finding yourself too used to writing the full working, even though you know the exact answer, you must kick the habit. Okay, so technically, do you really need to write this? Do you really need to write this? To be, don't need. You just need to count the number of spaces, the distances between the lines. We are good to go. Okay, so make sure to take up these habits and then you can fasten your working and shave off seconds by seconds. Then this is the reason why we can complete a very quick and easy paper. 1.5 hour paper, maybe you can shave it down to half the timing. Okay, these little tricks and there. Number one, really memorize your squares and cubes. This one won't go wrong. Okay. Okay, next, find the value of cosine ABC. Cosine ABC is here, but you see that this is an acute angle. No, this is an obtuse angle. So technically, we must understand how does it relate to its acute angle, which is over here. Which is here. We need to find this angle. Okay, so basically, how do we find this angle? It's actually very straightforward. Why? Because we have already found the hypotenuse, the value, which is square root 73. Then over here, what we need to actually find out is the line here. I'm going to draw a straight line here. To help us establish an official right angle triangle for us to use our trigonometry concept on, which is here. So the idea here is we want to consider that this value is square root 73, what we have found earlier on. So in order to find cosine, I want to find cosine of that blue angle, I need to find this value. This is the thought process that you need to go and find. So at this point, we already know that this distance over here is the difference between the x-axis. So we need to observe this is -1, this is 2. So therefore, this is 3 spaces. The distance is 3 spaces. Therefore, the cosine of square root ABC is equals to 3 over 3 over square root 73. However, this is not the final answer. The final answer must have a minus. Why? Because the cosine of the degree is equals to negative cosine of this supplementary angle. This one must memorize. Cosine theta equals to negative cosine of 180 minus theta. So this one involves the trigonometry of supplementary angles, how they are related. Okay, but the good thing is, if you really don't want to memorize, you must know at the very least that the cosine of an obtuse angle is related to the cosine of its acute angle. Then how? In exam, how? Let's say you don't know, forgot the relationship. Are they the same? Is it negative sign? If you forget, how? It's perfectly fine. All you need to do is to test values on your calculator. Test it out. Okay, so for example, I press cosine 130. I get this whatever value. I don't give a shit what the value is, but I need to know that it is this value. Then I go and press cosine 50, which is the supplementary angle of 130. Then you press. Then you see that the relationship is, you can see from here, it is the negative of the other side. That's how you know already. So that basically the cosine theta is the negative. See, negative of the supplementary angle. Test the values on the calculator. You do not need to really specifically memorize, but you must need to know that they are related. That's what I mean. You can test it out here and deduce it from there. Okay, so the value of cosine ABC is -3 over square root of 73. That's your answer. Because it's only 2 marks. As long as you can establish this relationship of negative, can already. Can? Okay, next, the triangle ACD has a line of symmetry, x equals to -1. ACD has a symmetry of -1. That means this yellow line I'm drawing here, which coincidentally is x equals to -1, this becomes the line of symmetry. So that means something else along the line, the D is here, somewhere down the road here. Okay, maybe not that high, but somewhere here. Okay, at least have some idea what's going on. Okay, so this yellow line I'm drawing here is the line of symmetry already. Yay! Okay, so find the coordinates of D. Number one, we must confirm know that it must be lying along the same Y line. So the Y coordinate must be -2. That's the first thing. Secondly, we must go and see what is the distance between. Now you're no longer looking at the tree. I'm looking at this whole line here. From -1 all the way to 5. This is -1. So that means there are how many units apart? There are 6 units apart. So therefore, on the other side of things, they must also have 6 units. So -1, -6. So -1 minus 6 will be -7. So this one will be -7. That's the idea. Okay. It's quite straightforward lah. But you must have the decency, and the habit of drawing extra lines to help you see what's going on. Okay, and also I did mention to also all my primary school students, use pencil on diagrams. Using pencil on diagrams will allow you to erase things if it's wrong, but at the same time, you have the habit of drawing extra lines to help you visually see better. This one's super important, especially in upper sec. Okay, and from here, this is 1 mark. 1 mark means answer correct means correct already. No need to do any extra working. You must be able to visually deduce and calculate from the diagram itself. Very important skill. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, we are also talking about congruence and similarity in terms of volumes and solids. So this is one quite important also. We talk about it a bit in Sec 2, where we scale, given the length scale, we must square to find the area scale, find the cube to find the volume scale. It's actually the same thing here. So now the curved surface area is 44 to 25. It's given to us in the question. Find the curved surface area of the small cylinder. So we have the curved surface area of the bigger cylinder. So we can just do the ratio conversion straight away. Okay, this one, what I teach my primary school students, is called the L method. This L method can be used here as well. So all we need to do to find this number, I call it the curved surface area, will be 240 divided by 25 times 4. So I recover the L method, what is going on. L method means we'll divide upwards and multiply across. It's the same thing here. Things you learn in P5 can also be used in Sec 3. Okay, so here is divide upwards and multiply across. Confirm answer correct. This one I also lazy to go and calculate what the answer is. I just need to press calculator can liao. Okay, so this one 240 divided by 25 times 4. Just like that. Just like that. So you get 38.4. Okay, so answer 38.4 cm squared. That's all. Super easy. Super easy. Okay. And the ratio of the diameters of cylinder. Remember, when they say diameter, means what? This is a measure of length. So we need the length scale. But the scale that we are given here is the area scale because it's 4 to 25. So in order to find the length scale, we square root both numbers will be 2 to 5. So answer 2 to 5. That's it. Legit, that's it. Okay. Next, volume. Okay, volume is talking about the amount of space, amount of space that's covered in this 3D figure. So we need to take the length volume, the length ratio, and convert it to a volume scale that we can use to compare. So length is 2 to 5. So for the volume, what do? We cube the numbers. Okay, we cube the numbers. So once again, I say again, memorize your squares and cubes so you can immediately get these numbers. Okay, so now we have the volume is 45 cm cube of the smaller one. So the volume of the bigger one, so the volume of large is technically the same thing. It's the L method just use. Okay, so it's 45 here, man. To how many? That's the idea. So the volume of the large will be 45 divided by 8 multiplied by 125. Same thing, divide upwards, multiply across. It's the same thing, okay? It's the same thing. So 45 divided 8 times 125, you get this. Just press. You get this ugly number, but it's okay. It's still a decent rational number. Just use 703 and 1 over 8 cm cube. Is it okay to put it in decimal 0.125? Can, but you cannot change it to 368. Why? Because it's an exact value. So in order to prevent all that confusion, just write fractions. That's it. Confirm correct. Can? Super easy. Can? Okay, next. How much more do we have for paper 1? Okay lah, 5 more pages. We are good to go. We are good to go. Quite okay. Okay, next, sketch the graph of this. Okay, so there's a few steps, guided steps to draw graphs. And for me, it's a very standardized 6-step process. Later along the way, okay, I'll write it here and I'll use the steps to follow through with you all. Okay, so I'll write it here. So graph sketching. 6 steps. It's a standard 6 steps. Number 1, your axis and origin. Okay, the 6 steps I'm providing here is on the basis that they never give you anything. They never give you anything at all. They give you a blank space, ask you to draw. Okay, so now here in this question, they give us the axis and origin. So good, we can skip this step. Okay, so that's step number 1. Make sure that your axis is there. That means your x, your y, your 0, all that stuff are basic stuff are there. Okay, number 2, axial intercepts. Okay, actually no, I don't want to put axis intercept first. I want to put the shape first. Is it a happy face or a sad face? You must know this at the very least. Whether or not you solve the question already or you know the roots already, it doesn't matter. You must know whether it's a happy or sad. You must know first. Okay? So number 3 is your axial intercepts. Then you go and plot your axial intercepts where it cuts. Okay? So I want to make it out even more specific. I want to write down plot down the axial intercept is I want to do the x-intercepts. Because at this point, normally when the question give you, they'll already give you in terms of the the roots of the x already. So just plot down the x-intercepts first. Okay, number 4. Sketch the graph based on your part 2 and part 3. Okay, so knowing the shape and knowing the x-intercepts, you will know where to sketch already. Then sketch first. Okay, sketch first. Okay, then 5. Solve for y-intercept. Because when you draw already, you don't know where the line cuts the y-axis. But you know it cuts somewhere. But you need to go and show. So you need to go and solve it using the equation itself. Okay. Number 6. Sign off. So you must name the graph like you draw already. You must write down, okay, this graph is the equation y equals to negative x plus 3, x plus 1. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, so using these 6 steps, let's go and do the 6 steps to help us draw this graph. Okay, you guys can follow along as well. But remember, use pencil on diagrams. It's the same here. Okay, so first of all, x, y, axis and origin all given in the question. We are good to go. Good. Next, the shape. Is this a happy or sad face? How do we determine whether it's a happy or sad face? We look at the coefficient here. Is it a negative? A coefficient of x squared to be specific. So it's x squared. There is negative x squared if we were to expand it. So it's a negative x squared. It's a sad face. We must know that it's a sad face. Negative means sad lah. Positive means happy lah. Very easy to remember. Don't think so much. Okay. So it's a sad face. Third, we must know what is the x-intercepts. From this graph and this equation, you must exactly know where is the x-intercepts already. Because this one tells me is -1. So I draw -1 first. Then here, this one tells me it's a 3. So I must write the 3. 3 is where? I don't know. But it's okay. Just draw 3 here. Okay? Then we go and start sketching the graph already. I will sketch something like that. That's all. Okay? Just sketch. But of course, here I can do iPad autocorrect lah. So from what you can do is actually my suggestion, right, is can actually sketch a general shape first. Then can plot your points later on because it's a sketch. It doesn't need to be very specific in terms of the distance. So what you guys can do is, since you guys already know it's a set face, draw the set face first. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's a set face like that. Also can. Then based on the position of the roots, adjust accordingly. So I know it's -1 and 3. So it's about here, I shift a bit. Like that. Good enough. Okay. Then from here, we plot in the points. This is 3. This is -1. Okay. So that is covered for the 2, 3, and 4 already. Okay. So x-intercepts, the -1 and 3. And then you're sketching on the graph, the first graph. But I think, like I mentioned earlier on, after I draw already, I know exactly where I cut my y, but I don't know the coordinates. We need to go and find the coordinates. This is where we go and sub the x value to be 0. So y equals to -3, 1. So the answer is 3. That means the y-intercept here is 3. Okay, so that is for the solving of y-intercept. Then we must sign off. So y equals to negative x minus 3, x plus 1. Done. Like that, full marks. And it fulfills all the instructions of the question. Indicate clearly the values where the graph crosses the x and y axis. It's all there. We are good to go. Very straightforward. Okay, so follow this 6-step process. You will definitely get your marks 100% of the time. Okay, so this one, I'll leave it here. Okay, hence, write down the, no, not hence, okay? Write down the equation of the line of symmetry of this graph. Very straightforward. It is the midpoint of -1 and 3. Okay, midpoint of -1 and 3. That means I'm looking at the distance. Okay, the idea here is we need to understand what is the distance here. The distance here is 4. That means the distance from one point, any one point, to the midpoint is 2. Listen to that again. The distance is 4 units. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. What does this 2 means? 2, I write down here first. What does this 2 means? This 2 means that from any one point, the distance from any one point to the midpoint is 2 units. Okay? So I can just take any point and either you minus 2 or you plus 2. So what is the answer to the line of symmetry? X equals to 1. It's not 2. Don't get confused. So the midpoint is somewhere, I would say, I don't know, somewhere here. That means the distance here is 2 and the distance here is 2. This is what we meant. Okay, don't get confused and don't be too hard up about the numbers. The more you look at numbers, right, the more you won't understand what's going on. Look at the concept. What does it mean? Very important. Okay. So x equal to 1, line of symmetry. Done. Okay, B, match. This one is to graph. This one is under exponential graphs. Make sure you can identify can already. Okay. So for here, there's a couple of things that we can straight away identify, and it's very straightforward. Number one, it's a straight line for graph 2, and it's going downwards. Going downwards means negative gradient. So the answer is definitely A. Okay, settled. Then for here, this equation 1, you got this very curvy graph here. This curvy graph straight away is actually equation C. Very straightforward. Okay, and then for graph 3, represent is 2 over x is D. Why? Because A is used up already. B is definitely not correct because okay, A goes to 2. So the remaining smart guess a bit lah. Okay, C and D must be either for graph 1 and graph 2 respectively. So how do we know that? If let's say you can't identify for nuts, let's say you didn't memorize, how? Test values. Test values. Okay, this is very straightforward. Why? Because if we look at equation D, x cannot be 0. X cannot be 0 because it's a division by 0, you get error. That means here in this case, x equal to 0 is an asymptote. What does asymptote means? Asymptote is an imaginary line that the curve don't touch. This is called an asymptote. It is an imaginary line that the curve does not touch. So you see, in graph 3, it never touched the x-axis, what? It never touched x equal to 0, what? Means this one is answer D, no? Smart guess. Okay, so but of course, all these smart guesses comes with the testing of values and how well can you identify certain messages from the graphs and from the equation itself. This one you must know. Okay, not sure, same thing. Leave a comment down below. Okay. Okay, next. Radian measure. Okay, this one is the radian measure. Just now that one is just angle, degrees. This one radian measure. Okay, angle POQ 1.75 radians. To quickly recap what is radians, so pi radian is 180 degrees. This is all you need to know. Okay, so let's continue. Calculate the reflex angle of POQ in radians. Here lah. This one is quite straightforward. So reflex. How do we denote reflex? We draw outside. Reflex POQ equals to 2 pi minus 1.75. Hey, that's it. Because pi is 180. So 2 pi is 360, which means the full circle. So take 2 pi minus 1.75, you'll get this 4.533. So 4.5331. 36 feet, 4.53 to 36 feet. That's all. So 4.53 radian. Okay. Hence, find the area of the unshaded region. Means everything else except this piece. Okay, that means somehow I need to use this 4.53 radians. So we need to understand what's the plan. Okay, what's the plan? First of all, I want to sector up this one. This is one is sector A and the triangle to be sector B. So in order to find the area of the unshaded region, technically it's just sector A plus sector B. Okay, so what's our plan? Let's write it here. I want to find A, find B, then find total unshaded. This is my plan. So let's go ahead and start finding A first. A is very straightforward. Okay, to recap, how do we find the area, sector area given the radians? Okay, so we find A, area of A. We use, what is the formula? Half R square theta. Okay, the good thing is that you do not need to memorize this. It's given in the formula sheet, but you must know it's there lah. Okay, so you can go and refer. Okay, so half. What's my R? Is my R given? R is 10. Okay, so straight away just sub in. Okay, so 10 square. Then my theta, what's my radian? What's my theta over here? Which is my reflex angle POQ. Okay, personally, I don't like to use 4.53 or 4.5331. I like to use the original expression because it gives me the highest level of accuracy. Okay, so this one is 100, this one is 50. So it's 50 times 2 pi, like that. 2 pi minus 1.75. So at the same time, you see, when I put the calculator away earlier on, my calculator is still here. Okay, this is where you can use this value for your future calculations. Okay, so here I times 50, I'll get this. Okay, so 22, 226.659. Okay, however, I know that I'll be using this later on. So how? This is the point where I store this value. So go and find out how to store values in your calculator. You might be using a different calculator as mine. I'm using the Sharp ELW 531S model. Okay, so for those of you who are using this model, you all can follow through. Just press store, there's a STO here, store, and then press any letter that you want, the green letters, A, B, C. So here I store A lah. So you store as A. I will use this value later on. Okay. So now I can continue to find area of B. So area of B, let's go and see what's going on. In this case, area of B is the shape of a triangle. But triangle, how? What is the area of a triangle? It's half AB sine C. Same thing is in the formula sheet as well. Go ahead and find. Okay, so half A B sine 1.75 radian. So before we go into key in this into calculator, we must ensure that our calculator is in the radian mode. Must change to radian mode. So for those of you who don't know how, press setup. Setup. Then you get this menu. Then press 0. Then change it, press 1 for radian mode. 1. So you can see from the here, instead of degree is RAD. RAD means radian. So now you are ready to key this one into the calculator. Same thing, this one becomes 50. So it's 50 sine 1.75 radian. 50 sine 1.75. You'll get 49.19. This one, okay? This one very nice number. Okay? Write down. 49.199. But I don't want to quit this one. Why? Because now I want to bring in A. Remember A? So my total will be 49.199 plus 226.659. This is what I copied from the written working. But what I do in my calculator here, I press recall. Okay, recall. Then I press 8 because I store the value inside there just now. Then I press equal. I'll get this 275.858. 8585. Okay, so answer is 275.858. Okay, answer very nice already. This final step is where we convert it to 3 sig fig. So 3 sig fig, 276 cm squared to 3 sig fig. Answer 276. Okay, very clear working, very clear plan, and everything is very examinable. Why? Because every step is being written very clear. I don't terrorize myself by writing all the ugly looking decimals. I only write a bit just to show there. But what matters more is my calculator. I always been using all the calculator values. I didn't use any rounded values like what I write in my paper here. That is the idea. Okay. It's about also the mode of practice, that how you exercise stuff. Okay. Okay. Can 3 marks. Straightforward. Okay, next. Okay, a bit of kinematics as well. Speed time graph, distance graph, and all this stuff. This one is just an application of your straight line and coordinate geometry. It's the same thing anyway. How many minutes does he stay in the supermarket? Just see from here lah, 8:30 to 8:35. Spend 5 minutes only lah. Okay lah, 5 minutes. At 8:30, the brother leaves home and go to the supermarket. She walks the same speed as Susie. Draw the graph of his journey to the shop. Okay, same thing. Okay, that means it's same speed, ma. Same speed means same gradient. Okay, so for the drawing, how do we draw? Here. Journey to the shop. Here, lor. Because it must be the same distance from 0 to 1,200 meters. I presume they both stay together. I believe. Yeah, leaves home, should be staying together lah. So the distance should be the same. So basically, this is how they meet. This is the blue graph will be part B, part 1. Okay, part 2. On the grid, how far is he from the shop when they meet? So they meet here. And this point is where the brother has already traveled 800 meters. Okay, that means we map it all the way to here. So how far is he from the shop? He's 400 meters away. This one quite straightforward, based on how you understand English only. Calculate the speed that Susie walks home. Give your answer in kilometer per hour. So basically, we were to look at this line. So it's from 8:35 to 8:50. So the amount of time is actually 15 minutes. We gather what we have first here. What we have here first. Don't rush to calculate. Write down properly first. Okay. Then the distance is 100. The distance is 1,200 meters. Okay. Now, I want to convert all these things to my kilometer per hour first. So this one is 1.2 kilometer. This one is 1/4 hour. So what is the rate of the walking? The speed equals to 1.2 divided by 1/4. Just put it numbers in like that. Then you realize the answer is 4.8 kilometer per hour. If you want to press calculator, can. A bit slow, but can. Okay, I won't fault you for this. So answer 4.8. Okay, so technically you want to do working also can. Divide by 1/4 equals to 12 times 4/1, you get 48. It's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, next. Folding table, metal bar is 21 cm long. Fixed to a table top, there is 14 cm from the hinge to the table leg, 12 cm from the hinge. So whatever that's written there is also established in the diagram. So you need to make sure what the diagram is. Okay, calculate the size of the obtuse angle in which the tabletop makes with the leg. So basically, they are looking at this angle. And this angle is very straightforward. Why? Because it's a very simple application of the cosine rule. Okay, this one you must know. Cosine rule. Must know already. Okay, so just need to apply the cosine rule. So by applying the cosine rule, how does it work? Okay, 21 square, follow through. 21 square equals to 12 square plus 14 square minus 2 times 12 times 14 cosine that angle, whatever the angle that is. Okay, you want to key this into a calculator? Can, but of course, if you memorize your squares, you can do half the work here on paper straight away. Okay, so 441 equals to 144 plus 196. This is 2 times 168 cosine theta. So once again, you see, I want to simplify my calculations on paper as much as I can before I key into calculator. Because the more time you press on calculator, the more slower you get. Okay? So from here, 144 plus 196. Okay, press calculator for each of them first. Write things properly first. Then you go and 168 times 2. Then we go and put them into the calculator. At least we are keying in singular numbers. Don't rush, really. Don't rush. Relax, relax. Okay? So from here, I want to make my what can we do here? 441 minus 340 equals to negative 336 cosine theta. Then press 441 minus 340. You get 101 equals to 336 cosine theta. Then your cosine theta can be 101 over negative 336. Divide by negative 336. Then you get this very nice number. Okay? Use this to find cosine theta. Don't rush. This entire thing is 3 marks. Enjoy your time. Relax. Relax. Make sure your workings are very clear. It's not worth it for you to miss the marks because you key in something wrong in the calculator or you miss out the bracket or the minus or all that shit. Not worth it. Okay? So what is my theta? Theta will be cosine inverse of this angle. Oh, just now is degree, right? Never mind. I try again. But I see when I try just now for my previous question, I changed this calculator to radian. I didn't change it back to degree. Now here, this question need degree. But it's okay. I can always do it again. I don't need to scare my numbers disappear. Huh? So I changed it back to degree already. Then I do again. Cosine negative 101 divided by 336 because the fraction is given very nicely over there. Like that. So I press. I'll get 107.49. Answer come out. Sui. 107.49. 107.5 to 1 dp. Angles to 1 dp lah. 107.5 degrees. Confirm correct. Okay? Do it out nicely. Slowly do. Okay? Slowly do. Okay, given the table leg is 77 cm long, calculate the height of the table. Okay, this one need a bit of extension because we need to understand what is going on in this table here. Okay, so they say that what do you say again? Table leg is 77. So this part is 77. Okay, I need to find what is the height, which is the vertical height. What is the height here? Okay, look carefully. If I were to move this part closer to here, do you see it actually forms a right angle triangle as well? That means we need to find on the, oh, sorry. You gotta change color. It means at the very close observation, we must understand that we are looking for this angle. Oh, cannot multi-touch. I need to find this angle. And this is 90 degrees. That's the idea. Okay, so we need to go and find the acute angle. And the good thing is that I can use my angle here. Don't go and use the working value on paper. That is already a rounded value. Okay. So the acute angle is equals to 180 minus this angle, 72.50. Okay, this one right here for fun only because I'm using my calculator value. Okay, so I'll have my, because it's 77, this height is 77. I'm looking for the opposite. Look carefully, opposite. So I got opposite and hypotenuse. So I'm looking at what? I'm looking at sine. All right. So once again, so sine 72.50 equals to the height over 77. So I have this here already. Okay, so press 77 sine of the answer. Like that. Then you'll get 73.43. So the height will be 73.438. So 73.4 to, no, this is to 3 sig fig. 3 sig fig cm. Because this one is the height. So 73.4. Done. Okay? Oh, the units must write in. So anticlimax, by the way. cm. Okay? I can guarantee you what we are doing here with the amount of explanation that I did to the video, to you guys who are watching this video, and the explanation that I did to myself, I can pretty much guarantee that all my answers here are 100% correct. So if you follow through the thinking process and the explanation here, you will get your A1. Confirm. Okay? Confirm. Okay? Just follow through the thinking process and pick up all these little details and adjustments to the habits, the presentation, the writing, the thinking process. As long as you follow this way, 100% you will get your AL1. Or not AL1, A1. AL1 is primary school style. Okay? Can. So this is the end for paper 1. Next video, I will share on the same paper, but paper 2. Okay? Can. With that, we will end the video today. I'll see you in paper 2. Okay?